What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods here coming at y'all with another 2-minute drill episode, man. And we got some crazy news today, man. Alabama A&M said, okay, Connell Maynard told y'all a few months ago and said, hey, y'all can recruit y'all's 4 stars and 5 stars. He said, we do that over here too. And boy, he was not lying. And 5 transfer commitments, like just in this like small span. We're gonna break it down here. We're gonna, talk about whether Alabama A&M was being underrated when people are talking about this, the SWAC this upcoming year. So, Brandon, I got all the recruiting announcements lined up here. So we'll kind of like briefly hit them one by one, and then we'll kind of go into like an overall discussion about what this does for the defense, things like that. So let's bring up. So we were getting ready to record, and this happened probably 5 minutes ago for this very first one. And it's Philip Hopkins, defensive end. Brandon, he was at Jacksonville State, one of the top programs in the FCS. He's headed to Alabama A&M. This is a huge pickup because they just lost Marcus, I think it's Cushney at the D end, who was like one of their top pass rushers. They bring this kid in. I mean, his first year at Jackson State, Brandon, he actually played. He played in 11 games, had a start, and had like 10 tackles and played against some of the best schools in the country. He went to Robert E. Lee High School, Brandon, in Montgomery. He was all-district, all-region first team as a senior in high school, named to the All-Alabama team in 2018, 107 tackles, 9 sacks, 2 interceptions. I mean, Brandon also was All-USA Alabama team by USA Today. This is just insane. He had 21 sacks in his career, Brandon, and had big offers from everywhere. So for you, I mean, what do you think about landing this kid right now?
I think this is huge. This is a player that, like you said, went to Jacksonville State. I think their claim to fame is they play a ton of FBS teams pretty much yearly. They're kind of like a homecoming game for them. But Jacksonville State's not really a joke, dude. I mean, it's like a legit program, also in Alabama. So it's not like he's going too far from where he was at. And he's really not going too far from home. He's staying in state at Alabama A&M. And I think he's going to have an immediate impact here. His tenure at Jacksonville State, like, left a little bit to be desired, I think. I want to say he had like 2 total tackles. But the kid has a ton of potential. I mean, don't take my word for it. Go watch his film. Go see what you need to see. I think he immediately contributes on this Alabama A&M team.
I agree. We got to get into the other one here, Matt, or some of the other ones. We got Corey Turner, 6'2", 201-pound DB, also out of Montgomery. There's a trend here, my guy. There is a trend here. And what do you want me to say? He was a 3-star member of the 2019 class out of Park Crossing. Had scholarship offers to Troy, Bowling Green, a bunch of HBCU programs like Alabama State, Grambling. He committed to West Virginia University. He decided to enter the transfer portal. I mean, Brandon, we see what Jackson State and some of these other programs are doing. Everyone calls the SWAC a pass-heavy conference. A 6'2", 200-pound corner with some speed, it never hurts, even if he doesn't, necessarily see the field this year. But the secondary was always criticized for Alabama A&M, and they got a good one here in Turner.
Absolutely. And talk about an oversized cornerback, especially at the FCS level. So I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe saw him slide over into like a full, like a free safety position, something like that. Kid's versatile. He never saw the field at West Virginia, but he's coming back home. Like you said, as a trend. I don't know if he immediately contributes, but he's definitely versatile, and he's the guy that I would want on my defense.
Well, you also got to remember, West Virginia had the #1 passing defense in the entire country last year for Power 5, and it's not that he wasn't good enough to play. He was young, but Brandon, he was stuck behind. You saw Drayshawn Miller now at Auburn. You saw Ty Key Smith at Georgia now. You've seen and the DB coach left West Virginia, which I really precipitated Turner's transfer. So it's not that he transferred because he wasn't going to see the field or he wasn't good enough. His coach that recruited him left. That's why he's out. And, man, sitting behind some of the talent that West Virginia team had in the secondary, and with the type of level of defenders that we see West Virginia recruit in a pass-heavy conference in the Big 12, this kid can ball. And I think this is for me, Turner is one of the more underrated pickups in this class that we're seeing right here.
Yeah, dude, I'm definitely excited to see him play next season.
And then, it's a little small here, apparently. Apparently, we can't get a full-size picture. There we go. There we go. Now we get a full-size picture. Quinton Densmore, also committed out of Gadsden, Alabama, Brandon. He's also a 3-star prospect, according to 247. What do you want me to even say? 6 foot, 170. He's tall, rangy kid out of Alabama who played at a high level in high school. I mean, I think he's probably more of a developmental prospect compared to some of the other 2 DBs that we're about to cover. But, man, listen, you can't have enough DBs. DB is one of those positions where injuries occur. You have certain defensive sets where you need a lot of DBs. And, man, if a dude's getting burned up, you want to have some depth to kind of switch around what you're doing back there. I think Densmore is perfect for what this Alabama A&M defense is going toward. Tall, rangy corners and safeties that can get their hands in the passing lanes, and I think Densmore fits that mold perfectly.
I do too, man. I mean, like you said, you can never have too many defensive backs, especially in a conference like the SWAC that's so pass-heavy that focuses on that so much. So it really looks like Alabama A&M is really covering their bases, trying to get as many defensive backs in the program as they can. And we're going to see one hell of a competition, I think. But this is going to probably end up being one of the best, if not the best, defensive backfield in the maybe in the country, but especially in the SWAC.
I mean, absolutely. And then this one, Brandon, you want to talk about a boom prospect, Breon Dixon. Brandon, this kid was a 4-star prospect coming out of high school. And he played at Ole Miss, Brandon. He played at Nebraska. This is going to be his final stop. Listen, this kid came out of Grayson High School over there in Georgia, that's one of the top producing talents in the country. I'm pretty sure that's where Owen Papo came out of, Brandon, who was a 5-star who's now at Auburn. This kid, Brandon, was a 4-star, Under Armour All-American, saw some starts as a true freshman at Ole Miss. The reason he transferred from Ole Miss, guys, let me say this. I know the narrative's coming. They can't play. They're running for competition. He was part of the transferring class, Brandon, when all the sanctions came down against Hugh Freeze in this program.
Right.
And so there he went to JUCO, played at Iowa Western, had 15 tackles and a sack for them. And, I mean, this kid's such a monster. Listen, if you don't know about this kid, go watch his highlight tape. He played all of his games at Missouri State too this year. I think they only played like 3 games, if I'm not mistaken, because of COVID. But this is the 4th. He's the 4th 3-star or better prospect to commit to Alabama A&M. This kid's a monster. And Brandon, they needed a linebacker. They need to shore up that front 7, because if they're going to get pressure on the quarterback, they're going to be stout against the run. Breon Dixon is going to go a long, long way in shoring up that front 7 for the Bulldogs.
I think so. And I can't just sit here and compliment them on every single thing. And I think Breon Dixon's a great signee here. I'm not talking down on him at all. I think one of the reasons that we've seen him move around, and yes, the sanctions, but the reason we haven't seen him get a whole lot of playing time in college football so far, I think that a lot of people thought he was going to put on a little bit more weight in college and maybe put on a little bit more mass. 6 feet and 215 as a linebacker is kind of tough. I mean, I'd really like to see him bulk up here at Alabama A&M, but I think this is his best option, or his best destination to succeed at so far.
Yeah, I mean, if he could get up to like 225,
even 10 more pounds could make a world of difference here.
Talk about a monster, but this is the one. Listen, there's a little birdie being myself. has said, there's some rumors that y'all can see Spencer Perry on this podcast later this week. So stay tuned for that. You know how we do here. Spencer Perry probably going to be on the podcast later this week. But Brandon, this is one I'm so ecstatic for. I think this kid is the best signing they got. Brandon, a 6'4", 195 defensive back. You want to talk about a monster? I tagged Allscript on Twitter when this happened. I was like, "Hey, we talked about that defense. Look at this." He said, "Where did they make these at?"
That's what I'm saying.
And Brandon, he got clocked at a 4.4 in high school.
Oh my God!
At 6'4", 195. You talking about a monster of a man?
Dude, I mean, he really is. And he went to IMG Academy, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he went to Auburn High School. He transferred again, and then he transferred down to IMG for his last year or two.
Yeah, so I remember he was at IMG for a year, or at least a year. Then he played at South Alabama, so he's pretty familiar to the state. He's been there. I think that was his only college football season, right? Maybe not.
No, he also played at Notre Dame.
He played at Notre Dame. Okay.
Yeah, he originally committed to Notre Dame, took part in spring drills, transferred to South Alabama, had to sit out a year, played a little bit in 2018, went to Northern Iowa where he started all 8 games in 2019, 39 tackles, an interception. This spring, 11 tackles in 2 games before he ended up transferring out midseason. So this is his last stop, and I believe he has a year of eligibility left, maybe 2.
Yeah, especially after last season. He probably has 2. I'm not sure. Obviously, I'm not sure. I thought he only played at South, so I'm definitely wrong. But I mean, this dude is an absolute monster. I mean, just the size alone on him. This defensive backfield is going to be unreal in the coming season, Zach. And I mean, I don't see how Spencer Perry gets on the campus and does not make an immediate impact. This kind of seems like a no-brainer to me. I think that he's almost got his spot solidified in that defensive backfield.
He's gonna make an impact by banging his head on the door frame as he tries to walk through. I mean,
he literally just had to walk into that locker room. They're like, "Yeah, you know what, you're in. That's you."
That's what I'm saying. Brandon, listen, I get it. We were tough on Jackson State, and I'm not saying any of these guys are going to be, world beaters. But if every transfer of Jackson State's brought in at wide receiver, Alabama A&M saying we're going to bring in a transfer at defensive back, and they understand. I think this shows that Connell Maynard understood what his needs were and how he needed to improve his team to win another SWAC championship. You knew that with FAMU coming in, with Alcorn being back, with Jackson State loading up, you were not going to win the SWAC with no defense. And so what did he do? He went out there and got defensive help. And I think the D-line pickup's huge. I think Perry's pickup's huge. They just have to – Brandon, I'm pulling up the stats right here. Last year, this offense averaged 40 points a game in the few games they played. Their defense gave up 24 points per game. If their defense can hold teams to 17 to 20 points per game next year, they have to be the favorites in the SWAC at that point.
I think so. I mean, I don't know. After today, and yes, it's recency bias, but after landing at least 5 commits, because the day's not over. We're recording right now, but like you said, 5 minutes before we started recording, we recorded a little bit late because we saw another commitment. We thought we were going to be talking about 4 commitments today. Then now it's 5, and God forbid, by the time we release this episode, it might be 7. Who knows?
Hey, listen, and so I posted that we were going to be talking about this on the show today. I can't say who, but there was someone on good authority who was in the Alabama A&M program. He works for the football team. Hit me in my DMs and said, y'all need to clear y'all's schedule because we aren't done. So, hey, to that person, as I know you're subscribed, we got our schedule clear, bro. Our ears are open. We are ready to break the news whenever y'all are. And let's just say I have it on good authority that there is an SEC player on campus right now who is going to be very scary if he commits to Alabama A&M. And the SWAC has to be on alert. And Brandon, I mean, that kind of brings that's a perfect intro to our next segment. Should Alabama A&M be the favorites in the SWAC in 2020 when we have the defending national champions for HBCUs? We have the defending SWAC champions. And Brandon, every time I look at a live stream, every time I read a post, it's just like, is it going to be Alcorn? Is it going to be Jackson State? Is it going to be FAMU? Well, are we forgetting that Akil Glass is there?
Right.
Are we forgetting that they have the best wide receiving core in the SWAC?
Dog.
I'm just asking. I mean, I need to know. Like, Brandon, is Akil not playing next year?
Did he opt out? Who knows? No. Look, and as much as I want to say yes, Alabama A&M will be the favorite, it's so hard for me to say with. And I think there's one thing standing in my way, really, Zach, and that's Alcorn did not play last season. We don't know what they got. That's as simple as that. And to me, take Jackson State out of the conversation. And I know that's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, and we're probably over that. Take them out of the conversation. Maybe in a year or two, it'll be your time. But look at what Alabama A&M's doing right now. It's not like today was the first day you come out and say, yeah, I'm going to be at Alabama A&M in the fall. No, these 5 dudes just decided, you know what? We're all going to commit on the same day. It's incredible. They're doing big things. Akil Glass is returning. Should have won the Walter Payton Award. I am on that hill. I will die.
Listen, he won every single award that could be won other than the Walter Payton Award.
Yeah, a little suspect. What's his name from southeastern Louisiana?
Yeah,
we're for you, by the way. We're coming for you. I don't even know his name. That's if that tells you anything.
I don't know. So I have to. I mean, I'm serious. Like, how do you have the best? So let me just poll the viewers and you, Brandon. What's the most important position on the field?
It's quarterback.
Okay, check. You got the best one in the SWAC. What's the most? So their offensive line gave them really good time in the pocket last year, and they're returning everybody, right?
Right.
That's a check. They have the best receiving core in the SWAC.
I think so. Yeah.
That's a check. Potentially have a really good running back coming in.
Potentially.
Yeah, that's a check. Has the defense gotten better since last year?
With today, after today, yes.
That's a check. And so here's where I'm going to make the distinction. And y'all can call me out in the comments. Like, I'm down for the smoke. Like, y'all are welcome. And guess what? We're going to have a live show in 2 weeks that y'all can come on here and we can go back and forth. The difference between Jackson State's transfers and Alabama A&M's transfers is I feel like the weakness for Jackson State wasn't where the transfers came in. Like, y'all let go of y'all's best wide receiver. It brought in a bunch of unproven guys. Other than Corbin out of Houston, kid is proven. Shane Hook's kind of proven. We'll have to see, but he has a lot of potential. Alabama A&M's weakness last year was the defense, and all they've done is just inject new, more talented players into that system. Jackson State, y'all had secondary players last year.
Right.
Jackson State's gotten better. It's just Alabama A&M is right there with you. Like, everyone's acting like Alabama A&M like squeaked by Jackson State. Akil Glass put 7 touchdowns on your head.
On your head.
Like, he gave y'all the 70-piece McNugget in your home stadium.
This dude.
Like, I mean, come on. Like, let's stop playing like Jackson State just let them win by a field goal. No, bro. Like, he put it on y'all. Like, it was an ass whooping of epic proportions if you look at what they did on offense versus that defense. And I get it. Nugget, monster corner. I get it. You got Sanders at safety. You got the other kid. I'm blanking out on what his name is. The other corner for Jackson State. Y'all can comment below what his name is. I know a lot of y'all know. It doesn't matter. They have 5 deep wide receivers at Alabama A&M. And, I know our guy Scotty said it too. If you do not get pressure on the quarterback, which Jackson State failed to do consistently last year, then you're not going to beat Alabama A&M.
Right.
You just aren't. And, I get it. So I think right now the SWAC, Brandon, it's going to come down, just in my opinion, to 4 teams. It's going to be FAMU, Jackson State, Alabama A&M, and Alcorn. I think those should be the 4 favorite, with maybe Southern coming in like 4th or 5th. I think they're right there too. But for me, I just think those are the teams, because I think Felix Harper over there at Alcorn State, the truth. He's probably the second best quarterback in the SWAC. I don't care. Shadur has not played a damn down. Get off my case. You're not a top 2 quarterback if you've never played before.
He's Tom Brady, though. He's Tom Brady incarnate.
I get it. Jackson State fans are going to come for me in the comments. I get it. I'm riding with y'all still.
You know what, Zach? I got to talk for a second, because that's what they do. That's all they do. They can come to the comments. Come on the show. Come talk to us. Come talk to us.
I can't wait for the live show. Listen, if you're tuned in, please come to the live show, bro. I love interacting with y'all.
Guys, this is we're about to break the fourth wall real quick. Hey, Zach, what day are we doing the live show? Is that going to be July 10th?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me check the calendar.
I might be in the airport, but I might be there. I might be there. Who knows?
On the phone?
On the phone.
Yes. July 10th. Y'all better be here to talk about this. But right now, I think those are the 4 favorites. And right now, I would probably say Jackson State by a slight margin, just on paper. If we're doing just by paper right now, Jackson State, Alabama A&M, Alcorn, then FAMU. That'll be my top 4 right now. But if we're talking on-field performance, until you beat Alcorn or A&M, Jackson State, you ain't won nothing. Because those are the 2 defending champions, and Alcorn didn't play last year. So, yes, there could be. If you're an Alcorn fan and want to put an asterisk, that's whatever. A championship is a championship. I don't want to hear it. But
Mickey Mouse Championship.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse Championship. But right now, I think Alabama – so I'm not saying Alabama should be a favorite, Brandon. I guess that's what the question says. I just think where's a little bit – can we put a little bit of respect on their name?
Like a teensy bit?
Like, I get it. Like, and listen, I know everyone's so hyped about the FAMU Jackson State game. That's a great game. Alabama A&M versus Jackson State could determine who's the SWAC champion.
Yeah, it absolutely
That
could.
game is going to be ridiculous. And Brandon, I'm going to look up the schedule real quick. I'm pretty sure Alabama A&M has Jackson State and FAMU coming to play at their house.
Yes, that's gonna be tough ones. Those are gonna be 2 tough games right there.
I don't know, but like let's look at their schedule real quick, because we can go through this. And bad TV or whatever you want to call it. But we're pulling it up.
It's a YouTube show.
I'm sorry I don't have all 160 teams that we cover schedule memorized off the top of my head.
Fast forward,
Brandon,
do this.
They get Jackson State and FAMU at home.
Yeah, they do.
And they got a tough schedule. Like, let's not lie. They get Jackson State, FAMU back-to-back weeks, Brandon.
Right, they do.
October 9th, October 16th, back-to-back. I think they can win all their last 4 games. Let's be honest. Alabama State, Mississippi Valley, Texas Southern, UAPB. They're not going to be easy, but right now I think the better roster is Alabama A&M. Their schedule, if Alabama A&M is going to win the SWAC again, that FAMU game and that Jackson State game are going to be their biggest competition, in my opinion. So I don't know if they should be favorites right now, but they deserve a little bit more respect than what y'all are putting on their names, I think.
I agree. Just a
little bit. Like Akil's still the best quarterback in the SWAC. They still got the best wide receiving unit. And listen, Brandon, one of the biggest things is chemistry. One of the biggest things is coaching. I don't think Connell Maynard gets enough respect for what he does as a coach.
Doesn't it? I mean, for God's sake, Dion kind of dissed him. He dissed him at the end of the game last year. And yeah, it's funny to talk about. We made jokes about it on the podcast. But he's not playing around, apparently, dude. He's coming for the ass. He made that abundantly clear today. He's coming for it. Yep.
Listen, it's always a joke. Like me and Script talk like about how we're both bandwagons. Listen, my bandwagon. Like I don't know who I'm going to attach to yet, because I came in covering the SWAC and I was attached to Jackson State. toward the end of last year, I was riding Alabama A&M's on the way out of town. Like, I came in on one train, left on another train. I don't know who I'm going to be riding into town this year. But our predictions are.
I'm riding with Southern. It's easy. That's easy enough.
Oh, my gosh. See, that's the Baton Rouge guy there. That's the Baton Rouge guy.
If you're a Southern fan, you want me to come to game with you, hit me up. Leave a comment down below. I'll be there. Just if you want to meet up, if you want to be on the show, let me know. We got this.
Yeah, BW Baton Rouge all year, man. So you have to hit him up. But listen, comment below. I'm ready for the smoke. I get it. Like, you know what? And while you're here, subscribe, hit the like button, bro. Like, we can all have our own opinions. That's great. I can't wait for the live stream because we're coming with all the topics, and I am so ready to talk SWAC football with y'all. But guys, comment below. What do y'all think of these transfers? Do you think they're going to make a huge impact? You know, well, just comment below what your thoughts are. Also, comment below who your SWAC favorite is, how much respect you're putting on Alabama A&M, what y'all's expectations are for them. Comment below. Listen, it's going to be a brutal fall. I mean, there are some dogs in this conference. There are some good teams. I think it's a lot more competitive than a lot of y'all are thinking. Because I know 95% of y'all who are probably watching this know who y'all think's going to win. I promise you it might not be so cut and dry. So, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. We have an awesome topic tomorrow. So I'll plug it for y'all real quick. We're going to cover we're going to rank the most likely FCS over FBS upsets in 2021. Let me just say, we got a lot of HBCU schools on that list because there's a lot of SWAC schools I think are going to shock the world.
What I'm going to do, Zach, I'm going to put a little asterisk right there because we've been wanting to do that like this whole week. And
that's true.
So much stuff has come up. So
listen, if Alabama A&M, I hope that person slid in my DMs is watching. Can you hold off one day? Can you just hold off one day? Like, I promise you we'll cover it. I just need y'all to hold off one day. And guys, I will update y'all on the Spencer Perry interview, man. We've been in the DMs talking to each other. We're trying to get a time set for that. So I can't wait to bring him on the show. Talk this Alabama A&M defense that a lot of y'all really be sleeping on. But guys, subscribe now. Give it a like, man. We'll be back tomorrow with some more Blue Bloods content. Wrapping up SEC in 30 days tomorrow with South Carolina. I'm in the talks to kind of get some makeup interviews scheduled for some schools we missed along the way. So I'll update y'all on that. But for B-Dub, myself, the 2-minute drill, and the Blue Bloods, man, we are out.